What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video on the Fútbol es Vida channel, where today we have another episode for this Hate Watch series that I've started a couple episodes ago already. I think this is episode 3, if I'm not mistaken. So basically, if you're new to this channel, if you're new to the series, as a Barcelona fan, I'm going to, talk about the recent games of our rivals, like let's say Real Madrid, obviously, PSG, Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, obviously the clubs that Barcelona have beef with, obviously, especially as fans. We have beef with a lot of these clubs like Bayern and PSG. Obviously they're not our main rivals, but we have beef with them. So I'm here to talk about them in general. I'm gonna watch as many of the games as possible and talk about the results of those games, either they win or lose. But mostly, I'm going to stick to Real Madrid because Real Madrid are obviously our biggest rivals. And today's video, as you may know, we're going to talk about the 1-0 loss that Real Madrid took in the Champions League away from home at Lille, a team that's in pretty for 5th or 6th place in their league, and Real Madrid lose to them. How embarrassing. Disgusting. What is that, Real Madrid? I thought you guys were good. I thought you guys were going to sign Mbappe like, oh, we're going to win it all. We're going to win it all. Oh my God, we're the best team in the world. How do you lose to Lille? How do you lose to Lille? Because Barcelona was getting a lot of criticism when we lost to Monaco, but the difference is we lost a player 15 minutes, 13 minutes in, 10 minutes in, and playing 85 minutes without him, without a player down. You had your full squad. What's the excuse now? What's the excuse going to be for this one? Mbappe didn't start. That's what. No, fuck off. No, 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 no. I don't want to hear that excuse. Because last year you won the double without Mbappe. So for him not to be starting this game, it's no excuse, right? No excuse. You had your players. You were playing with your players. Oh, but Endrick started. Okay. You guys were asking for Endrick to start a bunch of times. I don't know. All of a sudden, when he starts and has a bad game, you want to start saying that's his fault. So what happened, Madrid? I'll tell you what happened. Real Madrid went away to Lille, and I didn't watch the game live, but I definitely rewatched the whole game because I could rewatch it, and I rewatched the whole game. That's the only one I rewatched because I'm gonna talk later about Bayern and PSG a little bit. You just talk shit about Atletico Madrid. Talk a little bit of talk my shit about them a little bit later on. But the only game I really rewatched was the game against Real Madrid and Lille. And from what I saw from that game, obviously coming into that game, when you looked at the lineups, it was pretty interesting. Some changes. Endrick got his first, I don't know if his first start, but definitely first start in the Champions League. Endrick started up top with Vinicius Jr., a midfield of Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Bellingham, and Valverde, and a defense of Mendy, Militao, Rudiger, and Carvajal, and Lunin and goal because obviously Courtois is injured. So when I saw that lineup, I was like, okay, Real Madrid going to cook them. Real Madrid going to cook Lille. Like that midfield looks very good. Like Camavinga coming back into the squad finally after being injured for a while. And obviously Valverde's having a great season so far. Bellingham, he's Bellingham. He's always going to cook. And Tchouaméni's been really solid in playing that defensive role. And obviously Vinicius Jr. doing pretty well this season too. And Endrick, this is something new. I don't think any Madrid any Madrid fan was expecting Endrick to start today, but he got to start, and I'm pretty sure Madrid fans before the game were excited to see Endrick finally starting for them. So that means Rodrigo was on the bench. I think Rodrigo had a knock or something. That's why he didn't play. And obviously, like Luka Modric, Arda, they were on the bench, but. So when I saw that lineup, I was like, okay, yeah, it's going to be a very difficult game for Lille. It's going to be very difficult for them. I don't think they're going to win this game. I think Real Madrid will probably play them out the park this game because having 4 midfielders like that who are very good on the ball, have a lot of security, they might dominate them. But nope, nope. Lille came out to play today. They came out to play, to ball out. Before we get into the game, I just want to give a shout out to the crowd, to the fans of Lille, because when I rewatched that game, all I heard, as much as I heard the commentators, the fucking crowd, bro, they were loud. They were screaming. They were cheering. They were singing the whole 90 minutes. Wow. Applaudance to them because, wow, that is impressive. Having that fan base who's going to back you, even if you're in your lowest, even if you're highest, that's what you need from your fan base. And Leo were singing and happy the whole time, even when they were going down a bit, but especially when they got the goal, everything, they were cheering their team on the whole 90 minutes. They were loud as fuck, and you can tell Madrid felt the pressure. Madrid felt the pressure going away to Lille, and it showed in the game. First half, let's go over the first half. First half, I think both teams, I think it was more Leo definitely had the most had a lot of opportunities, but Madrid did too. Let's be honest. I'm gonna say first half was kind of a 50-50. I'm not gonna say Leo will play them out the park the first half, but Leo definitely had their opportunities, and Madrid did too. I think Madrid had the clearer opportunities. Endrick had a good play. Bellingham had a good, pretty decent shot he could have taken from, but he took a shit shot honestly. Vinny, created some chances too. They had some chances to create in the first half, but Leo looked more dangerous. Honestly, looked more dangerous into coming into the first half. That player that played on the right, I don't know his name. Let me check this name really quick. Sorry, I'm unprepared. But that player that played on the right, Zedgoza, cooked. He had a great game. He had a great game. I think he forced a lot of chances. But at the same time, he still played very well. He was creating a lot of danger, especially in the first half. Made some good crosses, made some good shots. But in general, he was cooking Mendy. Like he was getting past Mendy easily. He was controlling the ball a lot of times. He was creating a lot of chances for his team. Impressive from him. I think the main standouts for Madrid were Vinny and Bellingham. I think Bellingham had a really good first half. He was defensively doing good. Camavinga, bro, comes back and shows his class. Camavinga, I think, had a very good first half. Made some good tackles. Obviously, he gave up the pen, but again, that's just him being dumb at that point. Like that's a stupid mistake to put up. But I think Camavinga, making his first start, coming back from injury, he played pretty well. I think Bellingham too made some good tackles. Vinny, kind of 50-50 with Vinny. He made some good runs, made some good chances, but at the same time didn't really do much to the point where they needed a goal to get a goal or something. But yeah, I think the standout was, I think for me, Camavinga was the best player in that first half. Rudiger, Militao, pretty solid too. But the fullbacks, Carvajal and Mendy, terrible game. Terrible game for Carvajal and Mendy. Honestly, I don't know what's good with them. I made a video early on to the season in the season. I never released it, but I think I will probably for this thing's international break just to get some content out there. I made a video talking about Real Madrid, and I mentioned that Real Madrid's defense isn't amazing, especially when it comes to their fullbacks, Carvajal and Agent Carvajal and a Mendy who I never rated. I never thought Mendy was good at all, and I'm pretty sure Real Madrid fans can agree with me with that. That Mendy was never that outstanding player that they had security with of having him play for Real Madrid and being their left back for now and the future. And their sub it doesn't make it even better with Fran Garcia, who I don't think is good at all. He came in the 40 halftime. He came in. Ancelotti came in. You're having a shit game. Get out. Fran Garcia get in. But Fran Garcia made no difference, honestly. Fran Garcia didn't make any difference either. He was pretty bad too. I think both of them going forward are terrible. Defensively, I think Mendy's better defensively than Fran Garcia, but I don't think there's a huge amount of difference. I think Fran Garcia is worse, honestly. But no, both of them just had a terrible game. Terrible game from Carvajal. Carvajal misplaced so many passes going forward. He didn't create much. He just looked off, completely off, honestly. And I don't know, Madrid fans can tell me more than I would know because I haven't watched every single Madrid game. But Madrid, I don't know if this is something Carvajal has just been doing this whole season so far, or if it's just one-off game. But even against Atletico Madrid, I don't think he had a great game either. So I don't know. Those are situations that Real Madrid really need to fix either in January or next summer. I don't think they'll do it in January, honestly. Probably next summer would be the main talking point, especially in the left back. But I don't know. They extended Fernand Mendy's contract, so who knows? They're gonna have to pay him out if they want to get rid of him or just keep him in the bench for a couple of times, for a couple more seasons, so his contract right now runs out, and then sell Fran Garcia because Fran Garcia just doesn't have the level to play for Real Madrid. Because obviously the main person that they're going to look for is Alphonso Davies, whose contract is going to run out in next summer. So I think they'll go for him and then just keep Mendy as a backup. But yeah, they had a terrible game. Militao and Rudiger, I don't think had much to do. I mean, they had something to do. There were moments where they were just weren't looking behind their back and were getting caught. But honestly, pretty solid for them first half. And Lunin, besides the penalty, not much you can do about the penalty, honestly. But he made some good saves, especially the one chance from that what's his name, when Zaragoza crossed it into David and he headed it and then he kicked it, and then great saves from Lunin in that first half. But yeah, first half I think if it leaned more towards Leo being more dominant than Madrid, creating more chances, and yeah. So yeah, Real Madrid didn't play much first half. Endrick, I think, wasn't great either, honestly. Yeah, I think Endrick is just showing his immaturity in terms of he just can't be starting for Madrid yet. He's just not that starter for Madrid yet. He's not gonna bench Mbappe anytime soon. Valverde, I think Valverde was off that game too. I don't think Valverde had a great game either. I think he was playing a little bit more forward than Bellingham in the first half. I don't know why. Because Bellingham was defending a lot that first half compared to Valverde and Camavinga also. So I think it was more of a double pivot of Camavinga and Bellingham, and Valverde was up a little bit more. I really don't understand that. It was pretty weird for me, but yeah, first half Madrid were awful, awful. Honestly, they didn't take their chances and didn't create much. Lille, impressive first half, and then they got the penalty, obviously from a free kick where they shot it right at Camavinga, clear penalty. No one can deny that was a penalty. And then David slots it in top right to put Leo up 1-0. Again, impressive from Leo how much they've, put on the pressure to Real Madrid. In the second half, they kept on the pressure. Fran Garcia comes in, Arda Güler comes in, Luka Modric comes in, Mbappe comes in. Mbappe, quiet the whole game. I didn't even notice that he came in, honestly, because he didn't do anything. He did absolutely nothing. Modric, kind of created some chances, but at the same time didn't, wasn't outstanding. Who else? Fran Garcia, again, I already mentioned that he was just bad, bro. He was just bad. I feel bad for Vinny because you got to feel bad for Vinny because you need your fullbacks to attack. Then you need your fullbacks to make overlapping runs. And if they don't do it or they're not good enough at doing it, then they're not, it's useless. It's basically Vinny be against the world. So yeah, Fran Garcia had a shit game. Arda Güler. Arda Güler, like I mentioned before, I made a video early on into the season. Arda Güler was someone that I mentioned that should be getting more minutes for Real Madrid, should be starting for Real Madrid. So at this point, I don't really understand why it's not happening. I don't know if it's just stubbornness from Ancelotti, because obviously there's a hierarchy. There's a hierarchy for sure. There's a hierarchy of the players that should be starting for Madrid who have proven it for Real Madrid compared to Arda Güler, like Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, what's his name, Bellingham. Obviously, these players have proved it for Real Madrid, and it's kind of hard to drop them. But when you have a talent like that who comes into the match and is a difference maker, who shows the quality, who shows some aspects of what you need for the team, you have to play them. You have to play them. Like for example, like Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal wasn't thrown into the team because, oh yeah, we need someone to play. We need someone. We need to rest someone. Let's just bring Yamal in. He comes in because he's a difference maker. Because even as a young player, even though he's young, he comes in and changes the game, changes the team, and that's what Xavi saw. That's what Flick is seeing. That's what De La Fuente is seeing. A young player, but can make a difference for the team. And Arda Güler is one of those players who can make a difference. And not to mention, he's left-footed. And honestly, when it comes to playing a person on the right, you need a left-footed player. Let's be honest. You're not really going to prioritize having, a right-footed player on the right compared to a left-footed player. That's just the rules of the game. That's just how football is, honestly. And Arda Güler is that one player who can make a difference. When he came into the second half, made a difference for Madrid, created a lot of dangerous chances, has opportunities to score goals, missed it. But honestly, the Leo's goalie just turned into prime Neuer, and the whole game was just prime Neuer. It saved multiple chances, was very, very good for them. And honestly, I'm just surprised with these how Madrid have been playing so far. I gotta give a shout out to the 17-year-old from Leo. Let me figure out his name. Ayoube Bawadi. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Got to give him a shout out because he controlled that midfield. He was very confident. Didn't lose much many balls. Pushed the ball forward a lot of times. For a 17-year-old, a great game compared to the other midfielders for Real Madrid. Second half, I think Bellingham just fell off. He didn't do anything. Second half, he just was off that for the whole second half, and Valverde turned up a little bit more in the second half compared to the first half. Camavinga, the thing was Camavinga, he just makes sometimes he gets frustrated, gets some tackles in, and he just fouls, and then boom, he came off early on in the second half, I think because mostly he just comes back from injury, so he's not going to play 90 minutes just to preserve him. Militao came off too, and Tuchemeni dropped back as a center back, which is, I don't know why he took him Militao, but at the same time, Leo didn't they created chances, but it wasn't very, very dangerous chances. They had opportunities to make it very dangerous, but they just didn't take it. It's obviously a lack of quality compared to Madrid. Madrid In the second half, had multiple chances to score, and they didn't because again, the Leo goalkeeper just turned into prime Neuer and saved everything. And defensive work from Leo was very well. Um, but in general, it was just a game of Leo being dominant, being better, being, putting in the work that they needed to put to nullify this Madrid side, which have a greater amount of players in terms of quality and everything compared to Leo. And Leo came out and just showed their quality, showed that they came out to fight and to get the 3 points, which they did, meaning this is Madrid's first loss in, I think, 38 games, 36, 38, some between theirs. In the last 38 games, they haven't lost. This is their first loss. This first loss of their streak, and then their streak, and their first loss of the season. Now the question is, who do we blame here? I think it's obvious. It's Ancelotti, because we got to be honest too. Real Madrid haven't been looking good this season. They just haven't. When we look back at their games, let's look back at their games. Against Lille, they were dominant. They weren't dominant at all. Against Deportivo Alaves, I think they were dominant. Against Espanyol, if I remember that right, yeah, they were dominant too. Against Atletico Madrid, not enough quality to show when you're not enough quality at all. Against Stuttgart, when you look back at that game, obviously they won 3-1, but Stuttgart were better than them most of the game. And that shouldn't be happening. Against La Real, if I remember that game right, honestly, I didn't watch that game, so I'm not going to talk about that game. Against Real Betis, for me, were dominant. They had a lot of chances to score. They were better than Madrid, but Madrid, got away with the win. Against Valladolid, I mean, they didn't score until the second half, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, second half is when they started scoring, but again, it wasn't a result of when you're playing Real Valladolid, you should be scoring 7-0 like Barcelona. Against Mallorca, terrible game against Mallorca. And their first game against Atalanta, the first trophy that they won, Atalanta were better than them in a lot of aspects of the game. A lot of moments of the game, Atalanta were better. It's just again a lack of quality compared to Madrid. So is Ancelotti going to continue? Because in that video, like I mentioned before, the video I made about Madrid, I mentioned that Ancelotti is not a great tactical manager. And that's why I said that Barcelona is going to win the league, because Ancelotti is not a great tactical manager. So when it comes to playing these low block teams, when it comes to playing, coming against difficult opponents, I don't think Ancelotti has the right tactical, I don't know how to say it. Like, he's just not that kind of manager that's going to get you a win from those aspects, like from those moments. I think it's more he's going to rely on individual talent than he's going to be relying on him changing something, creating something with tactics and everything. I don't think Ancelotti is a great tactical manager. So he's going to have to find some solutions. Honestly, he's going to find some solutions because even Madrid fans can admit that they haven't been playing good football at all. They haven't. Is it because they're playing with three left wingers up top with Mbappe, Rodrigo, and Vinicius? I said it in that. When you guys see that video, compare it, because obviously as a Barcelona fan, I'm a hate, but I'm also going to be as objective as possible. So I said that playing with three left wingers up top just didn't make any sense. And I said that Jude Bellingham, you're changing his game up. You're changing his game up from being a goal scorer, running into the box late, and doing all that from what he did last season compared to this season, where you're gonna, defensively he can do the work, but you're taking away from his game what he did for you last season. So I don't know. I think Ancelotti is just gonna have to find a solution soon, because the next couple of games that they have in the Champions League, the next couple games in the season too, they're gonna be a challenge. They're not gonna be easy. If they're struggling already with a team like Leo, they're struggling with a team like Mallorca. They're still just struggling with Real Betis. They're struggling with all these other teams that are smaller compared to a Barcelona, who they're gonna have to play Liverpool soon. If they're struggling with them, then imagine the bigger teams. They're going to struggle too. Obviously, it's Real Madrid. They can get it out of the mud in any moment. But I don't know. Ancelotti is going to have to change something. I think Ancelotti has to start going back to that diamond formation that he was playing last season. And this is the lineup I would go with as Ancelotti. Courtois and goal, obviously. Fullbacks have to stay the same because they have no other options. I mean, today they're linked to Trent. Apparently Madrid made some contacts with Trent. Hopefully not. God. But Carvajal on the right, Mendy on the left, and then Rudiger and Militao as your center halves, because there's no one else. I don't know what the fuck is happening with Alaba. Where is he? Midfield. I'm thinking, obviously Bellingham, Valverde, no question there. Now, when it comes to Tchouaméni Camavinga, I think Camavinga should bench Tchouaméni because when it comes to the defensive work, when it comes from playing from the back, when it comes to having that defensive awareness, I don't think there's much of a difference with Camavinga and Tchouaméni. And I think Camavinga is a way better footballer than Tchouaméni. He has security on the ball. He has higher IQ. He can break the lines good with his passes, make some good long passes compared to Tchouaméni. So, in my opinion, Camavinga, the baller that he is, has to be playing for Real Madrid. He can't be benched. So, if there's going to be someone to be sacrificed, I think it should be Tchouaméni. Because now the other person I want to add is Arda Güler. I think Arda Güler has to be starting for Real Madrid. And I'm not saying this because, I think Rodrigo or Luka Modric are bad players. I just think that he brings more to the team that they do. I honestly think he's that player that, like, they're missing. Obviously, Toni Kroos is a big miss for them. And I don't think Arda Güler is the closest they can find to that kind of player. Not saying that he's going to bring the same quality or the same like the same things that Toni Kroos brought, but I still think Arda Güler has that creative mind, the IQ of a creative player that Real Madrid need. I don't think Bellingham is capable of doing that, or Camavinga, or Valverde, or Tchouaméni. Out of all the midfielders, obviously Modric can't be starting every game, or shouldn't even be starting at all. I think at this point he should be a rotational player. Arda Güler has to be starting for Real Madrid. I think at this point, Ancelotti, put your stubbornness away. Stop, fuck the hierarchy. Put in this young talent that you have that you're wasting on the bench. He has to be starting for Real Madrid. And then up top, obviously, Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. And they can just rotate as much as they want. But I think that's the best lineup that Real Madrid should be like that they have. I think that's what they should be playing with. Real Madrid fans, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you think if I'm, being, I'm just taking it too far, or if you guys would change, or you guys agree with that, because that's honestly what I think. But again, bad game for Real Madrid. Their first loss in the Champions League, the first loss of the season, which I'm happy about as a Barcelona fan. Obviously, I was very excited of that loss. But again, Real Madrid gonna have to need some changes because October 26th, we're gonna come for you, motherfuckers. So yeah, let me talk quickly about the Bayern, Atletico, and PSG games. I didn't watch the games. I couldn't because I don't care. But Bayern, I said in previous Barca talks, a series where we talk about Barcelona only, that I'm not worried about Bayern Munich. I don't give a fuck if they scored 9 goals against Dinamo. I don't care if they're scoring a bunch of goals in the Bundesliga. I said I'm not worried about Bayern Munich. And I also said that the real test for Bayern Munich is going to come with the 2 games that they just had against Leverkusen and against Aston Villa. Those are the 2 games where I'm going to see, okay, are Bayern like that? Or is it just because they're playing small clubs, small teams, that they're scoring a bunch of goals? Because let's remember, fucking Harry Kane had like 3 penalties against Dinamo. So it's I'm not that scared, honestly. And they tied against Leverkusen. I didn't watch the game, but from what I heard is that it was a 50-50 game. It wasn't like Bayern were dominating. And, they went down first. It took a banger from their player to score to tie it up. And Aston Villa, they lost. Like, I'm pretty sure the last time, what I heard last time Aston Villa beat them was in the Champions League final. But besides that, Aston Villa have competed in the Champions League in years, decades. And the first time they come in contact with each other, they lose. When you have the quality of players, like everyone says, like Bayern, shouldn't you be beating Aston Villa? I don't know. Even if it's away from home, questions to be asked. That's why I said I'm not scared about Bayern. When we play Bayern, I'm going to have confidence. If we have a fully fit squad, if everyone's fit, of how we've had so far in the season, I think we'll walk the park with Bayern. I'm not worried about Bayern. Atletico Madrid. 4-0 to Benfica. I made a whole video talking about these guys, of how I'm not worried about them, and my analysis of that is coming true. I'm not worried about Atletico Madrid. I'm not worried about competing with them in the Liga. When we play them, we're gonna walk the park with them. I'm not worried about them, bro. I already go watch that video, because I already talked a bunch of, I said everything I needed to say about Atletico Madrid in that video. Get the fuck. And PSG losing 2-0 to Arsenal. Obviously, Arsenal are a very good team. And they're playing away in the Emirates. Luis Enrique, suck a cock. That's what you get. as Barcelona fans, I mean, this is probably more Barcelona fans that love him, but personally, screw you. After all that shit you talked in that documentary that you made for PSG or talk about shit about Barca, screw you. Fuck you. Good shit that you lost. You dropped Dembele. Fuck Dembele too. Fuck all PSG. They'll never win anything. They'll never, ever, 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 infinity win the Champions League. They're terrible. They're shit. Luis Enrique, you fell off. You should have never. I don't give a fuck if you lost Barca. You fell off. Dembele, getting dropped already. Come on, bro. Everyone knew this. Everyone knew the type of player and the type of person you are. Who gives a shit about you? And yeah, PSG lose. Obviously they got the win against Girona, but come on, unconvincing win and an own goal. Come on, PSG are just shit. PSG is just shit. I'm not worried about them at all. So yeah, successful hate watch for as a Barcelona fan. Successful hate watch. 4 of our rivals losing, which is amazing. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what you guys, think about my, what I talked, especially Real Madrid, what I've said, everything about said of Real Madrid, and the other teams, small teams, who cares about them? So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, favorite, hit the notifications for you can see the next couple videos that I'm gonna post. Obviously, international break is coming up, but I'm still gonna post content. We still got content ready for you guys. Make sure to share with your local Madrid, Bayern, PSG, Atletico Madrid fan. And make sure to watch those videos. I'm going to drop that Madrid video soon. And yeah, much love to you guys and peace.